The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has launched a 3-month Spanish language course for law enforcement personnel, aiming to improve communication with Spanish-speaking individuals. An opening ceremony at the Police Academy in Latok on Monday marked the start of the program.
We felt it was a very, very important opportunity for the officers to be fluent and proficient in a second language, in this case Spanish. As the police, as we know, we have very porous borders on the island, around the island, and the police come into contact with Spanish nationals and persons from Spanish descent all the time in the performance of their duties. And therefore, to ensure that they can communicate effectively and perform their duties, being fluent or proficient in Spanish will assist tremendously in the performance of their duties.
Police Commissioner Vungard initiated the Spanish course, emphasizing the significance of a multilingual police force. The training targets police officers, correctional facility officers, and fire service personnel.
We especially wanted to do the Spanish because on a monthly basis we do interface with Spanish nationals, and we have the reason to communicate with them, and we want to have a good national security climate where we could mesh it in with a good human rights climate, so we could properly manage our situation with the Spanish persons. Okay? Currently we have 32 officers with us. We will have 3 more persons joining us from the St. Lucia Fire Service, but we have 5 persons from the Bodley Correctional Facility, and of course about 28 from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force.
The course also intends to produce law enforcement officials fluent in Spanish to break down language barriers in communication.
It is very necessary that they will know or to have some skills talking in Spanish, because in some occasion they will be in touch with individuals that speak Spanish. So the idea is that the embassy that has a specialist in teaching Spanish provide this course or courses because it's very necessary for the police officer to break the barrier language and to have a special contact with the individuals that speak Spanish that they come to St. Lucia.
Education Minister Sean Edwards stated that the training reflects the broader strategic vision of the police force's leadership.
Spanish is a language that is spoken very widely internationally, and also in our region, given our closeness to countries like Venezuela and Colombia. And during his remarks, the Commissioner made the point that almost on a daily basis, if not weekly basis, they have to be intercepting nationals from those countries. And it's very necessary for the police to be in a position where they can communicate at least at the basic level with some of the persons that they would come into contact with. Not only from a crime and negative standpoint, but it's also necessary for the police to be able to make basic conversations in Spanish, given the number of Spanish-speaking visitors who come to our shores on an annual basis, whether as stay-over visitors or they come as cruise passengers.
Improving officers' Spanish skills is expected to facilitate support and access to more training from Mexico. There are also plans to introduce other language courses, including French, Arabic, and Mandarin. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.